Welcome to the Midlife Rider Project. This is a place for riders who have lived a little and learned a lot. A place for honest reflection, lived experience, and listening for the wisdom that emerges as we ride through this second season of life. There's a pressure of sorts that lives in a lot of the horse world. A sense that our time, effort, and devotion need to be justified somehow, measured, marked, validated. Sometimes that shows up as ribbons, and sometimes as scores, and sometimes as progress we think we should be making by now. And often we carry that pressure without even realizing it. It becomes something that we assume just goes with riding horses. When I began riding in 1985, it was in the hunter world. The focus was showing, always showing, improving for the sake of the next class, the next judge, higher fences, or the next ribbon. And that focus stayed with me for a long time. Later, when I found dressage, something shifted, not just because I felt magnetically drawn to it, but dressage felt different. Even when you're competing against others, in many ways, you're really competing with yourself, trying to be a little better than you were before, more balanced or precise, more in tune with your horse. That felt better to me, more honest and sustainable. Because showing at its core is often paying for someone's opinion in that moment. And those opinions are subjective, even when they're informed, even when they're well intentioned. Many riders, without meaning to, end up tying their self worth to the color of a ribbon. And that pressure can be a heavy thing to carry. But performance pressure doesn't only live at shows, it also lives internally. In the expectations we place upon ourselves, in the timelines we think we should meet, and in the stories we tell ourselves about what counts, especially in midlife. We've done a lot by now. We've invested years, decades, and sometimes that creates pressure to keep proving something, even when our hearts are asking for something else. Partnership, by contrast, grows slowly from knowing your horse's habits, their moods, their quirks, their preferences, such as where they like to be scratched, in adjusting our own expectations, and in choosing relationship over outcome. Sometimes partnership looks like riding, and sometimes it looks like something much simpler, like hand grazing on a warm summer night. The sun lowering toward the horizon, the barn is settling, and the world is slowing down. Those summer evenings in the barn can hold as much meaning as any ribbon ever did. That time matters. The horse knows it, and so do we. Midlife has a way of changing the metrics. External approval often becomes meaningless. And while that can feel unsettling at first, as change sometimes does, it also creates a space for something else: alignment. We begin to ask different questions. Does this feel right? Does this bring me joy? Does this honor my body, my horse, this season of life? Approval looks outward. Alignment looks inward. And alignment tends to last a whole lot longer and feel a whole lot better. As midlife riders, we get to carry forward everything we've learned: skills, knowledge, mistakes, hard-earned wisdom. But we also get to filter it, to sort what is meaningful from what no longer fits. Some of us will continue to compete well into this season of life, and that's wonderful. Others will choose a different path, and that's just as valid. Both can be deeply rooted in partnership. That difference is now we get to choose consciously, not based on someone else's expectation, not based on proving something, but based on what truly matters to us now. So, what if success isn't about the ribbon? What if it never really was? As midlife riders, we've lived long enough to know that not everything meaningful can be judged in a single moment. Some of the most important work we do with horses will never be scored. It lives in trust built over time and in quiet evenings at the barn, in listening closely to what riding through this season of life is asking of us. As January comes to a close, you don't have to define what your version of success is right now. You're allowed to let it evolve, to let it be personal, let it be rooted in alignment, not approval. That kind of success doesn't need a ribbon. It already knows its worth. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated, I hope you'll join me again next week as we continue riding through this season together. Until then, take good care of yourself and your horse.